It is time we talk sourdough. Sourdough is my most requested recipe, so I figure I can show you guys how I make mine. All you're gonna need is bread flour, water, salt, and your fed sourdough starter. For my loaves, I do a 70% hydration, so that means I'm going to take 700 grams of warm water. Think like nice bathtub. Do this, I'm gonna do 25 grams of kosher salt. Or if you're like me, you just measure it in the palm of your hand. Next up is the flour. I'm going in with 1,000 grams of white bread flour. You can get creative with the flour. You could use dark rye, you can use whole wheat, but my recommendation is if you don't have much experience, try doing it with all white bread flour first and then start playing with different flours. The recipe will make 2 loaves, by the way. Perfect. And for mixing, your best friends are going to be a bench scraper, a wooden spoon, and your little grubby claws. Start with the wooden spoon. Try not to get it all over yourself. Once it's kind of dry and shaggy like that, I like to switch to bench scraper. This step is gonna let the flour hydrate a little bit before we add the starter. Just wanna make sure there are no more dry clumps. Once it kind of looks like this, I just switch to my hand. It's gonna look a hot mess, but don't worry about it. I'm gonna cover this and let it sit for 30 minutes. I love these bowls that have the little plastic lid, so you can just reuse them instead of using plastic wrap. See you in 30 minutes. That was actually about 40 minutes, but no biggie. This is what it looks like right now. It's already started hydrating, forming a good amount of gluten, and we're gonna add our active starter. So I fed this last night, do 225 grams. It smells like sweet and tart. Perfect. 225 grams right into our sourdough. I like to use my hand to kind of fold it in over itself. And you just wanna incorporate that fed sourdough starter until it is evenly mixed into your dough. Use your hand as like a claw and kind of just break it up. Sourdough isn't necessarily particularly hard to make, but it's very time consuming and there's a lot of places it can go awry. It just takes practice and patience. Well incorporated, mine looks like this. Let it sit for another half hour. Basically moving forward, we just need to baby it every half hour. So you do just need to be present and available. Take care of your baby. See you in a half hour. Okay, I had to run to the grocery store, so that was more like 50 minutes. She's resilient. Damp hands. At this point, I like to fold it in on itself with both hands, like this. You can see it hasn't really risen much yet, but it has started to form some nice gluten. Looks like a nice dough now. And cover it, let it sit 30 minutes, and we'll repeat this process 4, 5, 6 times. Just gonna depend. She's looking beautiful. I think she needs one more turn. This is my 6th turn. So I've been babying it for about 3.5 hours. 30 more minutes, and then we'll shape them. Okay, that was it. Look at her. She's doubled in size. So like I said, this makes 2 loaves. Get it out and put it on my counter. Divide it in 2. I like to just lift it and kind of use its own force to tuck it in on itself. This isn't your final shape, so you don't need to worry about that right now. Just get a nice smooth ball. Use like the back of my hands and kind of pull it towards myself. And then I'm just gonna cover them with these baskets for now. If you don't have these baskets, you can just use a kitchen towel, lay it on top. Last time, we're gonna let them sit for another half hour. I did warn you guys it was time consuming. It's been a half hour. They have rested under their baskets. The big reveal. Heavily flour your baskets. You can use rice flour if you've ever had any problems with it sticking. Rice flour is really good for that. So just heavy with the flour, little flour on top of each loaf, flip them over, and just kind of shape them into your nice little loaf. I'll give you a close-up on this one. Flour side down into your basket. Just a touch of flour. Now, if you wanted, you could let these rest in here for a couple hours and then bake them, but my preference for texture and flavor is to cover them and put them in your fridge overnight. Let them proof overnight for at least 12 hours, ideally 16, 24. I just think the flavor of the sourdough like develops a lot better in the fridge overnight. That's what we're gonna do. So we'll see you tomorrow to bake them. All right, it has been about 20 hours since my sourdough went into the fridge. I turned my oven on to 475 and I put the Dutch oven in there to heat up. Start your Dutch oven in a cold oven, and when it has come to temp, it's time to bake. Dough baby number 1, just gonna invert it onto a piece of parchment. I baked on this one already, but reduce, reuse, recycle. Rihanna. Then you're gonna use a blade or a super sharp knife. Look at that. Get creative, but I like to just do one confident slit and then a couple little guys. Be careful, this is ripping hot. You're just going to plop it into your Dutch oven. A lot of people will put an ice cube in at this point. I don't find it totally necessary, but you do you. Try it both ways. Lid on into your oven for 24 minutes at 450. You're reducing from 475 to 450, 24 minutes. I told y'all this was a whole process. It's been 24 minutes. Dough baby out. Careful, it's hot. Lid off. Look at her. Wow. And then she goes back into the oven for an additional 18 minutes. Okay, 18 minutes later. Look at her. Anyway, there's my super easy, very quick tutorial on how I make my sourdough. I know it's a lot of effort, but hopefully it inspires at least one of you to make it.